What's up folks, it's Fuzz here, welcome back to the channel. It's Monday, which means I'm going to have another FIFA 22 custom tactics video for you today. As you can see by the title, the thumbnail, all that good stuff, we're taking another look at the 5-2-1-2. This is one of my favourite formations from the past 2 years of FIFA. I think on FIFA 21, it was unbelievable. I used it for like the first month, and it took about 3 or 4 months until people caught on, and then we had the 5-3-2 meta that transitioned from that. Very similar this year again, I used it from the start. Not many people really played with the 5 at the back or 3 at the back, and now they're all becoming a bit more meta. You guys loved these tactics the last time, so I've changed them up a little bit, tweaked things here and there to fit the current meta and the current play style during Team this season. So if you do enjoy the video, please do leave a thumbs up on it. It'd be greatly appreciated. It helps me out, it helps the algorithm, all that good stuff. If you're new around here, hit that subscribe button. You know, it helps me grow. We're very close to 900 subs, and we're making that push to 1,000, so all the support on that is greatly appreciated. And finally, let's just jump into the video, man. This is an interesting tactic. I used a slightly different team this week with what I put in my squad builder on Thursday. The link for that will be down below. We ran a bit of an Eredivisie hybrid on the side, and I started with a La Liga hybrid on the right side, and I had to switch it back to the Serie A just to get some of my favourite players in. Playing with like Tammy up front just left me a little bit weird on the career front, so I had to get him back in the team. And yeah, we'll just run through these the tactics rather quickly now, and then I'll be able to show you some gameplay as well. So 5-2-1-2. We're going to be running press after possession loss for the defensive style with a 37 width and a 68 depth. These seem oddly specific, but honestly, I was just flicking around trying things over the past week. This is kind of what I landed on, and that's just what I stuck with. So feel free, use this as the base point. If you're playing games, maybe you find you want the width a little bit lower, a little bit higher, feel free to tweak that. That goes for all the tactics. Always use them as like a base point. This is what works really well for me and my play style. In most cases it will translate very well for all of you, but there will be some cases where maybe you need to just tweak things a tiny little amount and still get the results. So let me know in the comments down below if you do have to do any of that, or if it just works like out of the box perfect for you. It's really good feedback for me to know. On the offense side of things, we're playing fast build up and balance, which was I think the first time this year possibly I've used balanced, and I'll explain that in a little second. We've got 55 width on the attack, so quite a difference between the defensive width and the offensive width. If you don't know, you want a low width when you've got a 3 centre back system, just so they're not totally spread and given like 3 ball options all the time. Players in box 4, corners, free kicks 1-on-1, self-explanatory for certain corner. Well, the corner glitch doesn't really exist as much anymore, but it just stops you getting counter attacked as much. We're playing balanced though, and the big heads up in this is this system is a little bit of like a reactive system. So you're going to be playing fast build up and balance on the chance creation for the first half. Then what I want you to do is sort of analyze the opponent in the first half, and then change this to either direct passings or forward runs, depending on the formation you're playing, or what the formation they're playing, or what you think will work best. Both direct passing and forward runs are really overpowered this year. I find myself in most cases, because I've got 2 wing backs, I find myself putting it into forward runs. That would be my recommendation to change into in the second half. It just kind of like, it helps you be a little bit more fluid, a little bit more creative. If you play forward runs all game, by half time, like, they kind of know what to defend against. But if you start off with balance and you have a bit of everything, and then you switch into what's been working best for you, what you think will work best between direct passing and forward runs, that is what I would recommend. But I say start on balance and go from there. Personnel wise, I am going with the tactic of putting a really good DM in the back line. I would say, although this worked very well and Sangare was a good centre back, I prefer having 2 centre backs and a really high end full back in this system. Like, I'd prefer to have Buscaglia here, Chiellini in the middle, and then Cafu at right centre back, and then just get like a winger playing right wing back for me, that kind of thing. So just keep that in mind. There's sort of 3 options. You can run 3 traditional centre backs, which does work. You can put a defensive midfielder like Sangare or Tonali into the back line and sort of use them as a ball playing centre back, or you can just shift one of your full backs into centre back, which is kind of my preferred option, because that way you typically get a lot of pace and you get really high defending stats. So just keep that in mind. You want kind of 2 box to box players in the middle of the pitch as well for your CMs. You don't really want, well, you want them to have defensive stats, but not be like stupidly like mad defensive. Like, you wouldn't want someone like Kante here. Maybe his team a year gets away with it, but you wouldn't want like Gold Kante here. It's not going to work. And then the top 3 is kind of just pick 3 attackers. I would recommend definitely having at least one dedicated striker. I ran this system initially with Sinisterra, Suso and Carrasco team of the season, and I was relying on Carrasco as my main striker, and it was incredibly frustrating. So definitely have at least one main striker. Raspadori's SBC was a cam, but he is essentially a striker, so we've got two there with one winger. On the instruction side of things, goalkeeper's balanced. I will say you can do sweeper keeper and comes to crosses. I honestly had a couple of times where I wish I had it turned on because I feel like the keeper just didn't come for a ball when they should have. So I think moving forward I'm going to be doing comes to crosses and sweeper keeper, but I did test this system fully on balance, so I have to keep it true to that. Feel free to put on whatever you want, though that is personal preference with goalkeepers. The centre backs are fully default. We're not changing anything. We're not doing any overlaps with them. I kind of wanted them to be a very good core for the team, and that's exactly what they offered me. That was brilliant. The fullbacks are on the same setup. They're both on join the attack and step up. I've not done any run type changes here because I find at the minute when you turn overlap on, things get a little bit weird position wise, so I'm just opted to keep that as join the attack and step up. There was the option for aggressive interceptions, which I've tried before, but I felt in this system having just the join the attack and the step up was the best option. I did sort of test a bit of everything, and that's what I landed on. Our right centre mid is our most defensive in this attacking stage of the team, this top 5, and literally all they're on is cover centre and stay on edges of the box. You don't want any stay back while attacking on because you still want this person to get involved. As soon as you put this person on stay back, you've instantly got 4 people back. You've got fullbacks who are going to die of stamina up and down the pitch, and you've only got 4 attackers. You really want this centre mid just to be balanced to sort of help connect everything. So for me, I can't remember who I had. I had DePaul initially playing here, and then Maitland-Niles, and it was just a really nice link up. It's someone that can finish. I did get shooting opportunities with both, but ultimately can defend as well and can distribute. You want a perfect box to box really here. Over on the left centre mid side of things, again, it's a box to box with someone that can definitely finish. The team of the season Kushu card is perfect for it. I have a Hunter on him. His defending stats are good enough as it is for a secondary centre mid. He's gonna get forward, get into the box or cross. He scored plenty of goals for me. His long shots is good. I think he's got outside of the foot shot and finesse shot. Just a very good card that I will be planning to use as a super sub moving forward. The cam is stay forward, aggressive interceptions, and get into the box for crosses. This is very common if you've been watching my content over the past, I'd say, 2 months now. We love aggressive interceptions on the cam, and in this case, Sinisterra's high work rates, which is the main reason I put on the stay forward initially, but I do think overall for the team composition, the stay forward definitely helped here in general, and I tested different players as well, so I would keep that. Our right striker is just getting behind. This is kind of where I had PS Merchants technically. I think Abraham and Raspadori should have been switched around in this system here, and then on the left hand side of things is stay centered, getting behind and stay forward. So Abraham and Raspadori in this case should technically be switched. I'd want Abraham to be my big man that's like staying up there. He's going to win the balls. He's going to help me like get the ball down and distribute to the team. And then the right striker is your PSC man, where Raspadori or Sinisterra would do a perfect job. So that's the team and the instructions. Again, I'm not going to want to see any changes. The team worked really well for me. I did quite enjoy it. I will say the 5-2-1-2 is still very meta, but it's not as like mad meta as compared to what it was when we first put the video out. A lot of people have now transitioned to like the really like the 3-5-2 that the people won the Premier League with, and all those sort of high meta sweaty 3-back systems. So the 5-2-1-2 still had a lot of success. I still loved it. It's just not quite as broken as it used to be. But we'll flick into some gameplay quickly here, and I'll show you guys kind of how things went down with it. Okay, so this first goal I'm going to show you guys sort of shows I've changed the team to the 5-2-1-2 at the very start of the game here, and this is us going to be winning the ball back and sort of the opportunities you'll have in the counter-attacking sense. So as you can see, here's the 2 strikers, Carrasco, Suso, Sinisterra. That's your little triangle that you're going to be working with a lot for opportunities. You can kind of see if I win the ball back here, I've instantly got 2 obvious 3 balls on, and if I send Sinisterra on a run, that's a 3rd. Plenty of options. The back line is quite high on the depth, which is good. And then we've got the 2 centre mids sort of just roaming in here. You will find that some people who run a 3 centre mid system will get space on the outside of you, but that's when your win back can come in and help. You win the ball back with Koshu, time the run really well to Suso, and then instantly we're on a 3-on-1 into the box. And this is something that can happen quite a lot when you have the press on and you win the ball back. Your team will get forward and score. This is a good example where we've won the ball back with Sangare, who's our central centre back. Cafu's here in the green boots that I'm circling now, We've got DePaul, Koshu, and then Junior is this number 3 here in the bottom left of the screen. So we won the ball back with Sangara. We play it into Sinistera, who was our cam. He is high work rate, so he does drop a little bit deeper. But this is kind of what you'll expect to see a lot with how the team works. You can see already Caffrey's up here essentially playing as a winger. Junior's here essentially playing as a winger. You have your 2 strikers making runs. If Sinistera is a little bit more deep, I would prefer him to be sort of on this edge of the circle here. But I think that's his high work rates. You can distribute these big long looping balls to your wing backs. This case we do. I tried to cut it back in for a header, which didn't quite work. And then we get the ball with Sinistera. Just to showcase like Sinistera's dribbling and how nice it can be. He's just a little bit cracked and then gets the finish off, and then this guy eventually rage quits. It's another goal for you guys. Obviously 5-2-1-2 again. Playing. This was quite a high meta team we were playing actually. This fullback stepping up and win the ball back. Or sorry, the wing back stepping up and win the ball back. Sinistera again as a cam, kind of operating as that feeding option, get the ball through to Carrasco, which is really nicely, and managed to square it back to the cam just for an easy finish. But you can see how those front 3, as I say, and those little L1 passes together and like linking up is very prominent in your attacking. And this is a good example just to show you guys how it's going to defend. We don't have lots of the defensive examples, but essentially Mario Jr.'s up here. I made the big run with him. Caffrey's on the bottom of the screen here. You can't really see. He's on like the 30-second mark here. But we've got 3 people back, and then this is the midfielder in the middle who's just like on stay on the edge of the box or cross. So DePaul is here. He was the guy who was on cover center and stay on the edge of box or cross. We've got Cafu here, who didn't get quite as forward, and then you've got your 3 centre backs. Obviously, if you drag people out, you might lose the ball, but we want it back with DePaul here, and then just play it back and essentially do the same thing again. The fullbacks are going to make runs. Cafu's going to get forward. I did try a cheeky finish with Koshu here, I think, and it didn't quite come off, but that's really good. Again, like if they go to counter attack, we've got the 3 centre backs here. Cafu's tracking back, Junior's tracking back, and DePaul is that centre mid that's a little bit deeper. For trying to defend. This is just a pure counter attack. This is the sort of thing. I've had a corner here. He's now on the counter attack. I managed to win it back with Sinistera. Big ball through a calf. He didn't quite come off. Don't know what I was thinking about that, to be honest. I managed to get a big tackle with Sangara. He was fantastic there. The ball goes through and instantly, look, I'm on a run with Carrasco already. Straight through. And then just a nice finish to top it off. Okay guys, so the other bits of gameplay I did record for you. There was 2 more games. One was an 8-1 rage quit, where I think after the 4th, it was like 4-5-1 up. He just sort of stopped playing and then eventually rage quit. So the gameplay there isn't really indicative of the true system. Obviously it was a rather easy match. And any formation in that sense will look good. The other one was a 4-3 win, but honestly, I looked through the gameplay there. It was incredibly boring to play and watch, and the goals are kind of generic. I think over those 2 games, you got a really good idea for you of how the system works. Your wing backs will get forward a lot. You'll have one centre mid get a lot more active in the attacking sense, like Koshu did for me. DePaul then sort of roam in the middle of the pitch and act as like like an iceberg. I'm going to say an iceberg in the middle in the park for you, which is handy. Obviously, you always have the 3 centre backs back there, and then you've got your little triangle in the 2 strikers and the cam to work off. But that's me for today. If you did enjoy the video, please do leave a thumbs up on it. It'd be greatly appreciated. Also, let me know in the comments down below if you do try the system out, how you get on with it, any tweaks you had to make, and then that just ultimately lets me know how these tactics are for you guys as viewers, and what I need to keep in mind moving forward. Hit that subscribe button if you're new around here, because we are close to 900, and then we can push for the 1,000, which would be great. But that's me. I'll see you in the next video, guys. Thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.